I'm Robin. Welcome to the second edition of Ask the Critics that I'm doing this month. And I'm going to be continuing answering questions from you, viewers and subscribers. And this first question I'm going to be doing comes from Aaron Pritchard. Hey Rob, can you rate all the Star Trek movies in order from worst to best? And what is your favorite comedy and the worst comedy you've seen? Okay, yeah, I can kind of do that. The reason why I say kind of is because I'm not going to be able to include the Next Generation films because I've only seen each of them once. I saw First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis when they first came out in the movie theaters. And I saw Star Trek Generations when I rented it on video. But those movies I only saw once, and I never really was interested in rewatching them. I've seen the first 6 movies a lot. Like I grew up with Wrath of Khan, Voyage Home, and Search for Spock, for example. And of course, I've seen the 2 recent J.J. Abrams produced reboot series of Star Trek. So I'll do my ranking of the first 6, and I'll also include the 2 recent films. But I won't be able to include the Next Generation films because I've only seen them once, and I haven't seen them since I first saw them. Ordering from worst to best. The worst Star Trek movie, in my opinion, was The Final Frontier. I think it was a script that had a good idea, and I just felt like it wasn't executed very well. After that, I would say Into Darkness. It wasn't a bad movie, but I just felt a little bit let down by that one. And then Search for Spock. Again, it's a good... a lot of people say that the best films are the ones that are even numbered, like second, fourth, sixth film, what have you, and some people say the other ones aren't as good, and Search for Spock is number 3. It's not a bad movie, but I think, you know, compared to the predecessor Wrath of Khan and the next movie, Voyage Home, it wasn't quite as good, but it's still alright. Then the Star Trek reboot, I thought that was a fun movie and I enjoyed it. Star Trek The Motion Picture is a movie that I think gets misunderstood. There's 3 cuts in the movie, I guess. There was the theatrical cut, and then I owned the VHS copy that had 12 additional minutes of bonus footage, which I felt kind of slowed the movie down. And there's a director's cut when the movie came out on DVD that runs at 136 minutes that has updated special effects and stuff, and it's recut to what director Robert Wise was going for. It's a very smart intellectual movie that I think goes very well with Star Trek, the original series, the TV series, like the style and everything. But a lot of people don't like that one. I remember my mom said that she never liked it, and I don't think it's really that bad of a movie. Then I would say The Undiscovered Country, Voyage Home, and the best Star Trek movie, in my opinion, is Star Trek True, The Wrath of Khan. Worst comedy and favorite comedy. Now that's going to be very tough. I don't think I could pick just one comedy or one worst comedy, but I'll throw a couple out there. Best comedy, I really like Blazing Saddles. I think it's a good spoof of the Westerns. It's a very quotable movie. I know some people, as of late, are a little bit scared of it, but at least based on what I've seen on message boards because of the language thrown in there. And it was, I guess, one of the first movies to use, you know, the fart jokes and crap jokes, and that gets overdone in movies nowadays, and some people blame Blazing Saddles, but I think it's a fun movie. Another movie that I really like is the Marx Brothers 1930 comedy Animal Crackers. I would say that's their perfect comedy. A lot of people would say Duck Soup or Night at the Opera, but I think you get a good blend of a storyline that actually, you know, is a storyline. It's not just an excuse to throw gags, or it's not a movie where it overtakes the comedy. You get a good, you know, good comedy sequences. You get, you know, a young lovers couple subplot that's not too annoying and fits in very well, and each of the brothers gets some nice moments here and there. So that's another of my thoughts. And worst comedy, when I read this question, there were 2 recent movies that came to mind recently. One of them was Neighborhood Watch that came out a couple of years ago. It had Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Richard Iota, and I'm probably mispronouncing his last name, and Jonah Hill. Even though you had some, you know, recognizable comedy, you know, performers in there, I felt like it didn't really deliver. I didn't think it was a good movie. And another one was Hit and Run. It's not exactly a straight-up comedy. It's supposed to be an action comedy. It's supposed to be some humorous moments and some action bits. It was written, it starred, and it was directed by Dex Shepard, and co-starred now wife Kristen Bell, and I mean, from the trailers it looked like it would be a nice, interesting movie, but the final product was just not very good. There were a lot of jokes that fell flat. I don't think, Dex Shepard was quite ready to direct a picture as of yet. Maybe he'll have a chance in the future to start over again and, do something, but that movie was not very good, so those were the worst comedies. My next question is from Doug Rules. If you had a kid and they're 10 years old, what are the 5 movies you most want to watch with them for the first time? Well, assuming you want me to find something, family friendly, I would like Godfather. I wouldn't show them Goodfellas or Godfather at that age. Well, personally, not me. I would probably say Willy Wonka. I was about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the Gene Wilder film. I saw it for the first time when I was in the 4th grade. I didn't grow up watching it as a little kid exactly. That would be one of them. If you hadn't seen E.T., I would definitely watch E.T. with the 10-year-old. Dark Crystal. I really like Dark Crystal. A lot of people like Dark Crystal is a movie that Jim Henson made in the early 80s. It's like Labyrinth, but it's a little darker, and there's not really human and visible actors in there. It's supposed to be all puppets. And I thought that's a good movie. I would like to do that with them, show that. The 1931 version of Frankenstein, I think, a lot of those, I don't know if they're scary to little kids now because of what we have out there now, but I think that one out of most of the Universal horror movies, this one holds up really well. I think I'd watch it with them, and plus it's intelligent, or her. I would consider The Addams Family, the 1991 film. That one I saw when I was a kid, maybe around 10 years old. And for me it was a very fun movie, and I really liked watching it. I thought it was funny, I thought the characters were interesting. I mean, I didn't get all the dark, surreal humor at the time, but that would be something, I think I would consider watching with my 10-year-old kid. Alright, well those are the 2 questions I had, so thank you Doug Rules and thank you Eric Pritchard. I'd like to do another Ask the Critics video to wrap up April, so if anybody's got any more questions they'd like to send in, go ahead and send them in. Thank you very much for watching, and if you're interested, check out the main page and look at some recently uploaded reviews of movies that you can find in the theaters or in the comforts of your own home. Thank you for watching.